It's 6:34 as we get you ready to roll for the day. So just for the break, we're talking about millennials and their willingness to give up something in order to own a home. And of course, the poll is interesting. I think, and I want to just finish this up real quick, and then we'll get to our next story. But it was interesting because obviously, if the deal was, hey, you give up X, and we're gonna give you your down payment for your house. Okay, there's the deal. Now, if you're going to get a 20% down payment, as an example, let's set up a theoretical contest, right? So the contest is we're going to give you 20% down on your home if you can achieve a certain challenge. Now, that challenge should be pretty difficult, right? I mean, you would think that to give up something, you'd have to get a down payment for your house, that you'd have to, do something pretty significant. And of course, the more significant the challenge, and we could even say the more significant the challenge, the greater the down payment will be. Okay. So putting this in context, it's interesting from the poll when these people were asked, they said, okay, well, what are you willing to give up for your down payment for your house or for your opportunity to own a home in the United States? Well, the more difficult the challenge, the less the people were willing to actually do it, right? So, for instance, I would give up my iPhone forever. Only 29% of the people agreed that they would do that, right? Now, you could get. I would sit there and go, yeah, I'm an iPhone user. Not really, but say if I was, yeah, I'll get my iPhone forever. I'll go buy a Samsung. Big deal, right? So that should have actually been very high ranking. Everybody should have said, yeah, I'll give that up. So some of the highest ones, the ones that most people agreed to. Right. So these are the ones with the highest percentage. I would never post on Instagram again, 47%, which may tell you that, Instagram may be on its way out eventually. I thought this was interesting. I would give up Chipotle forever. Now, look, Chipotle is not that good, but apparently it's a thing. Now, so
don't put me in the briar patch.
I know, right? So 1 out of 2 people would say they would give up Chipotle forever to get a house. Okay, great. I'll go to McDonald's, whatever. I think I could bypass Chipotle to get a down payment for my house. Now, an interesting number here was only 9% of the people said they would break up with their significant other to get a house.
Really?
I would break up with my partner. Only 9% said that. So only 9% agreed. So at least they have enough, desire to maintain their relationship. That's a good thing.
Integrity.
Right? I want to know I want to talk to the 9% of the people that said, yeah, he's toast. Or she's toast.
How did that even make it on as a choice?
Well, you're trying to. So, have you heard about you heard about there's these 2 documentaries out about the Fyre Fest. Are you familiar with this?
Fyre Fest.
Fyre Fest, right? So it was this whole festival this guy was putting together. He sold all these tickets, hundreds of thousands of dollars of tickets.
Burning Man.
No, Fyre Fest, and this was on an island.
Oh,
he ran this. He promised, private jets and all these A-listers were going to be there, and hot models, and all these bands. And it was going to be this whole extravaganza called Fyre Fest. The whole thing was a scam.
How did you know about this? I didn't get the
They
invitation.
made movies on it.
I didn't get an invitation.
No, there's 2 movies out on it, right? There's one on Netflix. You can watch it. But the whole thing's a scam. The guy went to jail. So the whole thing was a whole scam. So, but one of the questions was, would you go to Fyre Fest? 23% said, yeah, I would go to Fyre Fest and get scammed. They would have gotten scammed, but they would have gone.
Yeah.
So, but that was on the list. I would go to jail for a week. Only 25% of the people said, 1/4 of the people said, so you want me to go to jail for a week in exchange for a house? I would do that. Right? That should have been an easy question. Jail for a week, you get free meals, room and board, you just hang out for 7 days.
And a boyfriend.
And you have a house. Right. And that happens. But that's okay because there's 9% I'm willing to give up their partner.
Well,
so so that 9% should have definitely been
a match game.
Exactly. 28% said they would survive in the wild for a week.
Maybe.
Right, but these are the tougher ones, right? Survive in the wild for a week. That, people say, yeah, I want a house. You're going to give me a house. I'll go survive in the woods for a week.
Go
That's
live
not.
Go live in the woods for the
Look,
week. Yeah.
21. They have the 21-day survivor challenge, right? So people go for 21 days without hardly eating. So I'm sure I can make 7 days for a house. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. You just got to put up with ants and bugs and hang out in a tree for a couple.
Know which berries to eat.
Exactly. I would 42%. I would listen to Cotton Eye Joe for a week straight.
Which version?
It doesn't matter.
I think we got Leo doing one of those.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, any version for an entire week for a house, 42% said they would endure that pain. I would give up sex for 5 years. Only 16% said they would do that.
5 years?
13% they would give up sex for 10 years for a house. Again,
no, they wouldn't.
The harder the challenge, the less. So what this tells you is that people really, they may say they really want a house, but they're not really willing to sacrifice to get the house, which goes in part and parcel to our earlier conversation about the achievement of the American dream. The achievement of the American dream is the hard work, the sacrifice, the taking on risk to achieve success. Nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody's going to give you anything in this life. You're going to have to dig up your boot heels, roll up your sleeves, and you're going to have to get to work, and you're going to have to do the work to achieve the success. Nobody's going to hand it to you. And the quiz goes right to the very fact that people are unwilling to do the hard work, to take the hard challenge of creating the wealth to afford the home. So this is the problem. 38% said they would run in a marathon. That should have been like 100%. Will you run in a marathon to get a house? You betcha. That should have been 100% of the people right there. I would give up brunch forever. Only 36% of the people said they would give up brunch. I guess that includes avocado toast.
I guess.
So, I mean, come on. Seriously. Give up brunch for a house? This is the problem right here.
Yeah.
And there's your and there's your sign.
No concept.
As they say. Well, it's just.
So, let me ask you, Les, because you're living in an apartment now.
Yeah.
Do you appreciate the house?
No. I don't. If I've told my wife I would rather live in I've learned something about living back in an apartment after all these years. So I've lived in houses for the last 25 years, right? I'm back in an apartment temporarily. We sold our house in December. We're getting ready to close on our new house in March. So we're in an apartment temporarily. And other than the fact that I have Dexter living upstairs, I'm convinced that Dexter lives upstairs. And I'll tell you, if you don't, do you know who Dexter is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who Dexter is, I'll tell you the story in a second.
He's a real cut up.
Yeah. But I'm convinced that Dexter lives upstairs. But the money that I save every month on not owning a home, because no yard keep, no pool keep, no maintenance, no upkeep, no taxes, no. I am saving a boatload of money right now. And I'm telling my wife, it's like, honey, do we really want to own another house? Right? This rental thing has some things to it. Yeah, again, other than the fact I've got Dexter living upstairs. Here's the story. So if you don't know Dexter, Dexter is a series that was on Showtime. Great series if you enjoy that kind of thing. But he was a crime scene investigator. So he knew all of the, issues with getting away with the perfect murder. But he was a serial killer, and he killed other criminals. But he was a serial killer as a crime scene investigator. So he would go and kill these criminals, and then he would be the guy sent to the crime scene to investigate the crime scene. Well, somebody should have caught on. They were never catching the criminals. But
it kept happening.
But people kept getting murdered and chopped up, and they never caught the guy. But I'm convinced that Dexter actually lives upstairs, because during the day we will hear these loud thumps on the floor. It literally sounds like a body being slammed on the floor, and then vacuuming. So I'm not sure what's going upstairs, but there's a whole lot of thumping on the floor and a whole lot of vacuuming and cleaning going on. And this happens all day long. And like the other night, my wife and I are sitting on the couch. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and we hear thump, thump, thump. And we hear like walking around the floor, and then a vacuum starts. So,
well, if your ceiling fan starts to leak,
exactly.
there's your sign.
There's your sign. Anyway, quick break. We're going to come back. You're listening to the Lance Roberts Show. Get ready to wrap up show, get you started for the day. Don't go away.
Want a longer talk with Lance about your money? Request a personal one-on-one at lancerobertshow.com.